We are quickly heading towards another Christmas. I'm sure you're all, getting ready for your individual things, your family things, and if you're all alone, I feel bad for you. But there's a lot of people that have that condition right now, and it's always sad. But hopefully you can find some way to maintain a sense of peace during this time. So anyway, December. Everyone's got something going on at this time, and I think a lot of you guys that tune into this show are people that are artistically inclined. I remember many Decembers from years past. If you guys recall back to the 1990s with the World's Finest books that I did with Dave Gibbons, I remember drawing a Christmas issue of that third issue in July. So that's how far ahead we work. That's what I recall from that. World's Finest was, I recall that is the issue, the comic that I did more research for than anything I'd ever done before. And I think I was on this proving streak where I wanted to adhere to the illustrator's credo. And the illustrator's credo is to research everything, and literally a lot of it from life, and not just taking photos. Remember, this was 1991, and this is the non-digital age. So, it's an age that I understood much better than the one I do now. I kind of bowed out of this ones and zeros age here, and I'm much more comfortable thinking back to a time when I could rely on myself for everything, going to the bank, making travel arrangements, going shopping. Now all that's changed, and I didn't adapt to it very well. Maybe some of you guys understand the same thing. But thinking back and thinking forward, you might want to check out a newsletter that I just got doing. And the newsletter talks about the kind of things I was just bringing up about the season that we're all about to experience one more time. I've had a lot of Christmases. Some of you guys with kids, they're going through it for the first time, and I'm so glad I grew up when I did. There was nothing like it. All the things that would influence me throughout my entire life came from the year I was born, and the things that came up around the time that I was born, say like at the age of 6 or 12 or whatever. The things that came into place during that time was the things that were going to cleave my path for the rest of my life. So all the work you see in Nexus and all the other stuff that I've done, especially Nexus, because that's the book where I can exploit all my favorite influences, I think, as a lot of you can tell over the years. Since I know everyone's big on watching me do some kind of artwork, well, that's going to take place today. And I'll show you later on what it's going to be, but you can get a hint from this right here. It's going to be an inking demo. I think you guys, for some reason, really like to see me ink. Preferably, I would rather do a painting of some kind, but that takes a long time. Even a simple watercolor takes a long time. These are things that are in the office thing right now, the digital office thing. Speaking of watercolors, these are quick things I did right here. And these little quick things were fun, but they actually take a lot longer than it seems. And most of it involves the drawing part of it. The actual applying of wash and colors, it's not exceedingly difficult, but making sure the drawing is, for some reason, I'm still having to work on it and sweat that out. Here's Dave. Everyone knows Dave from Nexus, and this is another one that's in the office for sale right here. This one was fun. This was done in opaque watercolor, and on the back, there's a little funny thing that goes on that I thought I'd put in there. Some of you don't know who this new character is, but she's the absolutely new character, brand new, that is going to be appearing in the pages of Return to Earth, which is the book that I'm working on right now. And her name is Vivi Catterwall. And she's from the South, so you all know what that's all about. And she's vivacious. That's why I called her Vivi. And after Vivian Lee from Gone with the Wind. But then you guys already knew that. This is a Sunbloom copy right here. This is no watercolor. And I love this painting that he did. And I'm always trying to practice with watercolor because I've always considered that the final frontier. With that in mind, I thought about doing a practice of the sunbloom painting in watercolor. Now he worked with oil on everything he did, but I wanted to see how I could do if I had translated this into watercolor. And that's as far as I was going to take it. There was a car back here that I just got rid of and a couple other things. And I didn't pay too much attention to things down here. But the essence of what I was going to capture is right here. So hope you like that. Another Sandra Peele piece that I think you guys have seen already, but you didn't see it done. Let's take Sandra Peele out of the plastic here. Isn't it exciting? Steve Rude takes stuff out of plastic. Take one. This is the finished piece of Sandra right here. This has a lot of Prismacolor and a lot of watercolor. And that's the way it turned out. Oh, here comes the hound dog, the barking hound dog. So we'll leave that aside for right now. You guys see this right here, this sunbloom thing right here? That's a famous painting that he did for Playboy. I think it was 1972. As much as you guys like to see the inking demonstration from last week, we're going to continue that practice. Last time I showed you to start off how I started off with a pen nib. This time I think we're going to try the brush, okay? We're going to go in with a brush. This is number 10 right here. Lowell Cornell, my favorite all-time brushes that they stopped making. God bless these guys. And let's see what I can do as far as working with just a brush. Some of you guys write in and say, Steve, you don't got to talk so much when you're doing these kind of demos. But it's kind of a compulsion. I'll try to stay quiet a little bit. This is my texture for you know, that white part on coats, the sheepskin kind of stuff, all that. And we're going to continue it like this. And I think I'll start with something kind of anonymous here, like the hat Sandra Peele's wearing. But by the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but this is Sandra Peele right here, who is based on the sunbloom painting there that I happen to really like. There's my first mess up right there. Get used to those. This is going to be a cast shadow. Now, when you do things like this, you have to get, I'm not getting the point that I want here. You have to be very considerate of what you're trying to explain here. And that is, sorry, I got to concentrate here. You're always thinking about form when you do this kind of stuff. Just a little bit of a touch with the underplane where the smile muscles go up. When she's doing a smile, there are mechanisms that take place with your smile muscles when you smile. And a little bit of a cast shadow going on there. And here we're going to do the mouth. I think the mouth is the hardest part for me because it's something you have to get exactly right, or you will turn something into something less than a smile. As you guys all know, the teeth are something that you don't render to the point of distraction. You always need to be keeping it on the simple side here. So here we're going to go into the hands. I don't think this is the brush I used last time, because I think that one's kind of worn. So we're going to go to, oh God, we're going to a 12 right here. Now let's see how this works out. But at least I think I can control the point a little better. This is why you want a brush that's got the point working just fine. So I definitely think this is going to work out a little easier. You always have to be accurate when you're doing hands. And let's get her sleeves on here. Females are not something you exploit with the definition of strong hands, so you keep it very simple. This can be a cast shadow that's going over from one of the fingers. And now we can get to the easy stuff, which is going to be the cloth. So we're looking at a number 12 there. Wish you guys would freak out thinking you might have to work with that someday. And that's one of the reasons I show it to you, because it can be done just as almost as well. I think the skinniest thing I would ever work with is the 6 of the low cornels. But actually I prefer an 8. And this is why I do these things. The point of this live stream is to show you what I know, and by doing that, if it helps you guys with your own work, that's a great goal of mine. Because everything can be very difficult in life sometimes, and as an artist, you have to be especially careful with the time that you invest in your life when it comes to perfecting your skills. Honestly, I'm surprised there's as many people as there is that are professional artists. It really takes something amazing to get through that stuff and learn all the things that I'm trying to impart to you guys. It looks like this thing is going to be almost entirely done with a brush. So let's keep going with it. I like to break up the blacks with these slashy strokes. I'm not sure where that came from, but it came from somewhere. It didn't come from Linedecker, I can tell you that. Although this is very reminiscent of the way he did stuff with his slashy brush marks. These are going to be cast shadows from the hair right here. Let's get Cinder Peel's, let's give her some mascara. Doing a little round thing with a brush this big, or with actually any kind of brush, is not easy. So let's blacken the shadows right here, such as they are. Obviously, this is not a super dramatic piece where we're going to put this thing in deep shadow. That's exactly what you don't want with a piece like this. But going according to how the light works in this particular picture right here, that's kind of what I'm working from. You have to remember to keep things symmetrical on both sides. You have to match eyes, you have to match ears, because even though it's not really like that in real life, you're not doing real life. I like doing idealized people, and that's exactly what you see in my work, is handsome, idealized people that are obviously very fun to follow the adventures of. That's that. I think we can put some cast shadows here. Minimal ones. There's more things, cast shadows from the hand there. We're going to blacken the blacks. We're going to throw some heavy blacks underneath here to show form. And we're gonna show a little bit to indicate it's a female down there. So there's that, and honestly, guys, there's very little else to show you here. Now, as far as whiteout goes, I am the master of whiteout because I have to be. This little mistake up here, I can tell that it's off. I also want to put in, before I resort to that stuff, I want to put in little tiny things that are important to indicate when it comes to details, such as they are. These are little things that they don't need to go in, but I think they definitely add something to it. This is a cast shadow that needs to follow the contour of the bosom. So that's what you have to think about when you think about cast shadows. It's got to reflect the form underneath, as something you guys all know here. Again, try not to freak out in the way that I'm using a number 12 brush right here, but just to show you what can be done. And there's nothing to be intimidated about when it comes to the size of a brush. It really depends a lot more on the fact that it's got a really good point to it. And these little cornels are really good about that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Be very careful with these underplanes here, because these are just a result of smile muscles going on here, not the fact that she's got bags under her eyes, which she does not. I think I'm going to try some of the stuff that Alex Raymond does right here with the brush, and really get kind of a half-tone thing for the lower lip. Something I want to do very carefully and be in control of. And that's a classic thing that the illustrators have done in years past. There's my demo for this week. I hope you guys liked it. I think I'm going to put some, just to be a completist here, I'm going to put some blacks in the background that kind of frame her figure, such as it is. She's only the most beautiful girl in the world, and she's kind of based on Sandra Peele and, Marilyn Monroe, and probably Gino Ginelli, the girl I married. Gino is actually Nexus's mom in the strip. Whenever you see Nexus's mom, that's Ginelli at work right there. That's her face. Ginelli is the one that is the true behind-the-scenes person when it comes to all the stuff you see here for the website. I think people have a hard time believing that she actually does 90% of the work for everything that goes on here. She literally stays up as much as it takes to get the job done, and the job is practically a one-woman operation. She's got a stamina that kind of freaks me out, because I certainly don't have it. If you want to do a few knuckle things here, keep it very simple, okay? And I think that does it right there. That's the other advantage of a big fat brush. Boy, you can cover stuff fast. Almost didn't see that. Of our holiday cheer section of this live stream here. The reason I like to see what you guys turn in, because I want to see, you guys, the audience that I'm speaking to every week. This is probably the best service I can ever provide for anyone, is letting you guys submit your thing, so I can take a look at it and whatever I can offer to help, that's what I'm trying to do. The last thing I'm going to show you here is if I take Thunder Appeal down here and move her over here, I always like to show a little bit of the animation stuff that I've been working on. I have literally hundreds of these right here, and that's kind of freaky to think about. But instead of doing a whole scene with a particular head shot of how she's feeling, I just did the heads. So these would act as close-ups here for whatever's in the scene involving Sundra. This is a full shot right here of the head that I did a close-up in. And for that, as you guys know by now how to flip this stuff, there's where it starts and there's where it ends. It took me 5 drawings to get from here to there. And she's raising her head. See how that works? Lower, upper. And this is, I think, something all of you guys know, where it's just to keep someone alive. And this is number 3. That's number 4, so she's almost there. Number 5, and what you saw there is I put in all the mouth levels that need to go on her when she's talking. And I mentioned last time that mouth levels are very hard to do. So in order to just learn it better myself and make sure it's done right, I've gotten all the main mouth motions, movements, positions that you need when you're generally talking. This is done in 12 field animation paper, and this kind of ties in with everything I talk about when I mention the animated nexus. I think a lot of you guys know the story by now, which has gone on for a long time. I'll be optimistic when I have a reason to be. At least all the work is done. 95% of the work is already done. I just need someone to step in and know how to work camera and the latest software, things like that. And once we raise money, it can be a paid position. That's going to be it for this week. So thanks again. I'm going to go drink some tea, deal with my throat, and I just want to say thanks for tuning in. This is fun, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.